Good morning. For our Sunday school lesson this week, we have a continuation of the story of Moses and the people of Israel called Moses' Dry Feet. Last week you heard about how God rescued the people from Israel with 10 plagues and how they ended up fleeing into the wilderness. And now we find out what happens next. So again, Moses' dry feet. Oh, here's Pharaoh and his army. They're not looking happy, are they? And here's the people of God running away. The Pharaoh's men were gaining ground. Their sleek chariots were rolling, so fast behind the horses strong, eyes wild and nostrils foaming. There's God's people here. What do they look like? Oh, boy, those big old eyes. They're scared, aren't they? They're scared because here's Pharaoh's army back here. God's people saw the chariots, the horsemen, and the army. The shields and spears shone in the sun. It started such an outcry. They're gaining on us, was the shout. We stumbled as we hurried. Through sand that slowed our sore steps, God's followers were worried. Wow, the army's coming faster than they can go. Oh, look at how they're thinking about all the things that could go wrong, go back in chains, how they could be made slaves again, making bricks, all the things that could go wrong. We move so slow, uncounted throng with sheeps and goats and cattle. And now the Red Sea in our path may force us to do battle. So they walked, and then finally they ran into the Red Sea, a big old body of water. And they're like, what are we going to do? God's people were so terrified, they wept and moaned and shouted, we cannot stand against their might. On horses they are mounted. They'll capture us and drag us back. With whips and chains they'll beat us. Oh, work from dawn past setting sun. Oh God, will they defeat us? So they had seen how God had been strong, but now they were worried that they would be taken over by the Egyptians. Here comes Moses. Here's Moses. He's going to pray. There's the people waiting, and there's one little sheep. Oh God, I prayed you brought us here away from our oppression. You've been our strength, our faith in you. We claim your love's attention. You led us with your cloud by day. Night's darkness you have broken. By fiery pillar guiding us, your love for us you've spoken. So he reminds God how God has taken care of them. And now the Lord's going to speak back. The Lord then spoke to me and said that we should never worry. He would fight the fight for us, in that way gain glory. So God would do the fighting, actually stir them up so they can't fight Israel, because the Egyptians are all fighting each other. The Lord said, stop your questions now and tell the folks to quit moaning. Go forward, march, pick up those feet, get those people going. God moved the cloud from front to back between our camp and Pharaoh's. The blackest night surrounded them, but on our side, bright light glowed. So the cloud that had been in front moves between them so they're safe. Wow, look at this. Look at these people. They don't look so scared, do they? Look, what do they look like? They're happy. And here's Moses with the stick holding it up. Everybody's happy. I stretched my hand toward the sea. A miracle was coming. The sea was split by God's east wind. The path was dry by morning. Between the high and watery walls, we crossed the Red Sea bottom. When Pharaoh's army tried the same, the walls collapsed and drowned them. So they're running through this. There's water on both sides, and they're on dry ground. But when Pharaoh tries it, they get drowned. And now on the other shore, they're standing there giving thanks to God, and Moses is kind of looking out at the people. We stood astounded on the shore, then thrilled to God's great mercy. We shouted, prayed, and sang our songs of praise to God and glory. Then Miriam, with timbrel bright, led ladies in their dancing. They spun and twirled and leaped and whirled. The picture was entrancing. So here's Miriam, that's Moses' sister, and she's dancing in front of all the people, and the people are just so happy. So pray to God. He'll hear your prayers and help when you're in need. Remember what he did for us and follow where he leads. That's what we are to do. Pray to God and go where he leads. Have a good week.